Oh my God.
It's an emotional relief for you, yeah?
You know what's crazy about this experience is that before this, I was always like 2, 3, 4 down. When you did the first fitting with me, it was just eye-opening at how much easier it is.
We're out here today at Golden Acala Golf Club in Florida. We're out here with Alex. He's the director of fitting for Jumbomax and has an extensive background in working with launch monitor data and fitting with flight scope and the highest level players in the world. So we're going to take him through our Avoda fitting process today and find out what he fits into the best. And this is also the same process that Jumbomax are actually using for their grip fitting. Just getting warmed up. We're starting with a standard lie angle, standard length shaft, standard grip, everything in the middle. And we're going to do a lie angle fit first. Feeling warmed up?
Yeah.
Alrighty. We're going to move you to the 2 extremes either side of standard, find out which one you're biased to, and then we'll dive into it further from there. The goal of this is do whatever you feel you need to do to make the club work. Even if you know it's wrong for you, figure out what you would need to do if you had to go play golf with it. I feel easier or more difficult than the one before?
Way easier.
Way easier. Cool. And literally all we're changing here is the lie angle of the club. We always say that a golf club is a chunk of metal. There's only so much you can do with it. But if you're going to do something, make sure it's lie angle. And again, you know the rules. We never judge those first couple.
Yep.
Got to figure out how to make it work before we can judge it. You can hit one more with that. Out of the 2 extremes, we started in the middle. We went to the flat. We went back to the middle. We went to the upright. Out of the upright extreme and the flat extreme, which one did you feel more comfortable in? The upright. And was it a clear winner over the standard, or were they both pretty good?
The standard was the last one, right?
Yeah, the one before that.
It didn't feel bad. This just everything. My eye, the way it sets down for my eyes, the way it just feels, the contact. It just felt.
For sure.
It just feels good. Like I look down and I have confidence that I can draw it.
Here you go. So, you know the rules. When we think we found it, we go away from it. We're going to move you back to the standard, hit a couple. If it's a clear winner, we know where we're at. If there's something good in both of them, meaning in the middle. The fact that you liked something about the upright side suggests that we need to be on the upright side, so I don't think it's going to be standard.
Yeah.
But if you're pretty good with the standard and pretty good with the 2 up, then we're probably in between the 2. To be more than 2 up would have to be a complete clear winner in this part of the test, which I would say that you weren't terrible with the standard. So what do you feel when you're swinging this one? Pretty clean contact with
it. Yeah.
What do you feel like you have to do with the face? Open it, close it?
It feels like I got to close it a hair.
So it probably means it's fractionally flat then.
Yeah. Oh, that's just bad.
Well, when you feel like you have to close a club, it means you have to release it. If you do that too much, you release it underground.
Yep. You know what's crazy about this experience is that before this, I was always like 2, 3, 4 down. Because you know, oh, you're overhooked, you got to go flatter.
Yep.
And then when you did the first fitting with me, it was just eye-opening at how much easier it is now.
Yep. And that's why we have to hit everything. If we do a test on a lie board, the lie board's going to reveal which direction you might need to move in, but it's not going to say what the number needs to be. That's a misconception. If I give a good player like yourself 4 degrees upright and 4 degrees flat, and I had you hit both on a lie board, it's not going to say an 8-degree difference. It's going to say maybe a 1 or 2 degree difference. So that immediately shows that the player is doing something to make the club work. Well, I want to know that when you're making it work, you're doing the least amount of effort possible. So we have to go and hit everything. So if the lie angle board says we need to go 1 or 2 degrees more upright, it's just saying start moving in that direction.
In that direction,
And then once you get to where you need to go, it should then start to say standard.
Standard, yeah.
But quicker than going in and bending the club every single time we test it, is just have all the clubs to test. What do you notice with this one?
Definitely starts more left, but it feels more solid when I hit it.
Well, from what I can see, there's positives of both. You're pretty clean with the standard, but like you said, looks a bit flat, looks like it wants to miss right, and then you over miss left. Your biggest miss is left so far. We're actually with the flatter lie angle. The upright one looks better to you. It's on the upright side. It clearly is allowing you to hit the draw more, but a missed strike can be a little bit high in the face, a little bit heavy, and a little bit left. That suggests fractionally 2 upright. There's a combination between the 2 that's pretty good. We were just hitting between the 2. So hit one more with that, and then I'm actually going to put you in the 1 up, and we're going to see how that feels. And that's the one that's a good hit, but a little bit over left.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. So is that similar sort of skinny strike without it missing right or hard left?
Skinny strike, yep. I'm also used to playing a bigger grip, so that's a little
play into that left a little bit.
I think a lot of people are the opposite, right? They're used to playing this, and then, but I've been playing the bigger grip for so long that it just feels awkward.
And again, that's why we are careful judging ball flight too much. We are really talking here about the consistency of strike and how you feel swinging it. How's this one feeling versus the other two?
Yeah, it feels...
Combines what you felt good with both those other ones. Yeah, I mean, from sound alone, without looking up, that's...
Yeah, and that strikes her.
Yeah, so in the middle, one up.
Okay.
So we're going to go into shaft fitting now. We're going to take that same lie angle to do the shaft fitting. Now, obviously, an objection to that usually is like, well, doesn't shaft influence lie angle? And yes, it can, but it doesn't influence it as much as lie angle changing itself. So we want to get in the ballpark. If not, we're already there.
Right.
And we'll go through the shaft fitting, and if we start to notice there's a little movement in one direction, then we can move that way.
Right.
But I'd prefer that than going through a full shaft fitting with the wrong lie angle, and then you're manipulating a swing and the shaft's making up for that, and then we change lie angle at the end. The rest of the fit was a waste of time. In the shaft fitting, we have 3 things that go into a shaft. We have weight, we have flex, and we have profile. Weight is the total weight. Flex is how much the shaft bends, and profile is where the shaft bends. Out of those 3, which one are they talking about more than anything?
Oh, weight.
Weight, and sometimes then flex. Very rarely they're talking about where it bends.
Correct.
Where it bends is more important than both of the other ones put together. So we're going to do a test. We're taking weight and stiffness is the like dialing in for the force output. Profile will literally change the mechanics of your swing to make it work. Weight and flex will really just change tempo and force. We're taking 3 shafts. They're all at the same weight. They're all at around 90 grams. They bend in 3 completely different places. So we know that weight isn't the reason that you're going to feel a difference here. Where they bend is what we care about.
Yeah, it feels softer. I don't know if that's the right...
Than your current one?
Yes.
Okay. What do you feel straight away with this one?
That felt good. That felt like it loaded and released like to my swing.
You're used to a slightly bigger grip, so you've got used to a bit more release. So you're hitting it left when you go to a smaller grip. Yeah. Well, remember, we're still on that smaller grip. Yeah. This is why we want to be careful of judging the ball flight when we look at this.
I mean, that feels good.
We're going to move across the profiles. So what's interesting, when we find a player who can hit all 3 pretty good, probably means they're somewhere in the middle. Right? If there's not a clear winner, then you're in the middle of all of it. There's advantages to some, there's advantages to others, but if you're pretty good with all of them, in the middle is going to be a good place to be. The difference between the 3, you started in the mid profile. You actually then went to the softer profile in the max. We went back to the mid, we went to the stiffer in the TGI. The stiffer profile, if it's too stiff for your tempo or too stiff for your swing type in terms of the profile, it's going to get to the ball earlier than you need it to get to the ball, which is where you might stick it in the ground, hit the heel, you might close the face, and it actually goes quicker than you expected it to, which is probably where you can start to see a little bit of that left one. When you went to the softest profile, you were like, oh, left one's gone away. Problem is, it's never catching up. Right. If you were meant to be more towards the stiffer profile, then you would have hit the softest terrible. But the fact you hit them both pretty good means meet in the middle between the 2 of them. So we're going to go back to the middle. You hit it good when you started. You hit it good when you came back to it from the softer. Let's see if you hit it good when you go back to it from the stiffer. So how's that feel? Out of the 3 profiles, that feels in the middle. Awesome. So we're going to go through weight and flex. It would be tough to say whether you would be slightly heavier or slightly lighter. We're going to go slightly lighter first and see how that feels. Okay. And then we're going to come back to slightly heavier, see how that feels, but I honestly think you're going to be right around that weight. If anything, from a speed point of view, I would put you more towards the 80. Yeah. But from an overall weight point of view, I'd want you heavier. Yeah. So that's where you would go into the heavier Tour Series grip. How does this shaft feel to you versus the slightly heavier one? Slightly stiffer one?
I mean, definitely feels lighter.
Feels easier, more difficult?
Easier.
Cool. The goal is always easier. So we haven't found too light yet, have we? Or too soft yet. We're going to go a little bit more. We'll go to the 70. I just want to know when it starts to feel like it's too soft. Can't say something's right until you've found either side of it first. So this is now at the 70. Easier or too easy?
Maybe too easy.
Give me a couple more with it. Got a little quick. We've gone lighter in the shaft. It lets you put more into it to get more out of it. But if it gets too much, gets too quick, you're going to lose stability.
Yeah.
So I think we are flirting on the edge. I think it's
yeah.
super easy, but I'd be scared that you'd actually slow down to control this. Feeling that a little bit?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, we'll go back up in weight. So we found too light. Wasn't terrible, so we know we're not going to be far off of this. But we know we found a little bit too light. So 80 was pretty good.
Yeah.
We're going to move to the 90. I want you to tell me when it starts to feel like it gets a little bit too much work. Again, popular misconception, right? When a shaft gets too soft, it's going to kick more and it's going to make it hooky, right? But if it's too soft and you put the force in you have available, it's never catching up. So a shaft that's too soft will never actually catch up and end up missing flat right.
Yeah.
A shaft that's too stiff is the opposite. If you can't put enough force into it, that club's getting to ball way earlier than you need it to. So when you release the club, it's going really quickly with you.
Yeah.
And you're going to start to see that come in a little bit. I'll let you make the call as you're going through these, which one have you felt best with so far?
Yeah, that's a normal pattern there.
Cool. So out of everything you've hit weight-wise there?
The 80, they both felt okay, but the 80 didn't do that.
Yeah, for sure. We'll go back to it.
This feels good.
I mean, as a hurdle we get a lot, obviously, is the graphite shaft idea, and you know, it's lighter. I'm a guy, I need 120, 130. Just for everyone who doesn't know, your extensive background is in a lot of data collection and a lot of testing, and you've worked with the best players in the world on that, and now you're leading fitting for Jumbomax. Would you say that that is true?
1000%.
Yeah, and what would you recommend to the guys who think they need 110, 130 in a steel?
Lighter. I mean, obviously getting fit, I mean, it's key. Like going through this process is key because you can actually see it. But, you know, a thing I found real funny is that like the long drivers are actually doing it. They're going, of course, their game is just hitting one ball in the grid out of 6 or 8 or whatever. But when you pick up one of those shafts that's softer and a little more flexy, it just makes it more effortless. So you gain more speed, you get better launch, they get better spin, and I don't know, I think the whole craze of heavier and stiffer I think those days are gone.
Yeah, and we want to find the sweet spot. Obviously, we went to a lighter shaft.
Correct.
And we found it got too soft,
too
light. So there is a point, you don't want to go to.
Right.
But the idea of where a standard, like if you actually had to pick a shaft from a weight point of view that's right in the middle of what everything would need, it's not at that 120, 130.
Correct.
It's nearer to that 90, 80, 90
yes,
for most golfers.
I agree. It happens with our grips, you know.
Yeah.
People will say, oh, well, you know, it's the standard, and then we get people that go all the way to the extreme and they try the extra large, and then, oh, I didn't like it. Well, you got two extremes now. You've hit a standard, you've hit an extra large, you haven't really hit the
100%.
Stuff in between.
Well, that leads well into what we're about to move on to here next. So moving into the grip fitting. Now, this is the fun part. This is what you do.
Yep. We've worked with some really good players, tour players, guys that have won multiple times on tour. And when you take them from the standard that they've swung for their entire life, 30 years or whatever, and then you put them in the right size grip, they start hitting it great. And they're like, wow, this is amazing. If it's effortless, like I don't feel my hands moving, I don't feel the club moving.
The grip testing is back on the steel shaft.
Yeah.
We want to normalize back to the feel of the steel shaft before we start going through the different sizes to make it a fair test.
Yeah. It just feels totally different.
Cool, we're going to start going up now. How does it feel going back to the steel after hitting through the different graphite options?
Not good. See, that's what I get with it. To get somebody in the right profile on a steel, you probably do have to go heavier to get them, you know, for somebody with faster speed.
100%.
You have to work with graphite, you don't maybe have to do that.
Cool, biggest size now. And as you know, most of this we can do by giving you the grip, putting it in your hand, going through all of the sizes, and then you telling us which one felt right. You know, it's this idea that we're not allowed to make golf easier.
Yeah.
Like, why? Let's make it as easy as possible. The least work you have to do, the more fun this game becomes. Cool, right, so you're at the biggest.
Yeah.
Now we start going back down a size. Now you can judge. Tell me when it starts to feel too small. Size-wise, feel too small yet?
Like I said, I've been tinkering with the XL, so.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it feels okay. Feels a little too big in the left hand.
Feel too small yet?
No, getting close.
Getting close. Cool. Cool. Clear winner or somewhere in between the two?
Probably extra small and small, but probably extra small.
Cool.
It feels better in the right.
There you go. And then weight-wise, you can put force into an object, but yeah, the shaft you were in was the 80. go with a rubber core grip, get the total weight up without the shaft getting too stiff for you. So final part of the fitting process is to do a same length versus combo length test. This one's always a fun one to do. We do the same length 4-iron versus the combo length 4-iron, and we just find out which one gives you the flight that you're looking for. So we're going to start with the same length, hit a few shots with that. And what we see all the time is that players are more consistent with the same length 4-iron. It's shorter, it's a heavier head, it's easier to hit the middle of. But does it give you the launch windows that you're looking for? And we go to the combo length 4-iron. So do you see the launch and spin difference between the two?
Oh yeah,
so
immediate.
For the speed and the distance you're hitting it, going to the same length 4-iron, it's just not going to get the launch and the spin, the lower lofted end of the bag. But then it's so harsh to say that same length isn't for you, because in the scoring club end of the bag, we know that it's going to be more consistent. And then obviously, not being on the taller side either of us, 7-iron length lob wedge starts to feel a bit long. So that's the second part of this test we would go into, is the other end of the bag. Let's do a same length versus combo length wedge test. And this is much more around how you feel over the shot. We do this in the W1 wedge.
That's
reason being, it's the lower bounce, lower leading edge height club, and it exposes when the length's not quite right for you, because the margin for error disappears if you really do stick that in the ground. We'll start with the same length. And we'll go into the combo length. How do you feel over that length club?
It feels long.
Feels long?
Yeah.
Still got away with it, you still hit it pretty good?
Yeah, I did.
But you're a good player, you figured out how to make it work.
It feels better, but I obviously stuck it in the dirt, so.
Well, we've just changed length, it's going to change your feel on the first one. And again, we know this grind for you isn't the right grind. Cool. So out of the two lengthwise, which one do you feel more comfortable
I just feel more control with this one.
Cool. So you still play same length in the combo length makeup. Same length from the lob wedge to 8-iron, 36 inches, progressively longer down to the 4-iron. The 4-iron in the combo length gets a little bit more launch and spin for you. You are still a player who gets to gain the advantages of same length without gaming the disadvantages in your part of the game. Now we're going to do W1 versus W2 test. You've been playing the W1s, obviously it's the first wedge we put out there. I wanted to design a wedge for the players in the firmest conditions. For me, I grew up in the UK. In the summer, the golf courses bake out. They're rock hard and you can't get a wedge underneath the ground. Everything skips off the ground. So I wanted to make a wedge that didn't happen. This is great for the firmest of conditions. W2 is more of a mid to high bounce wedge. This is for the players who play in softer conditions, grainier conditions, players who like to lean the shaft a bit more, put more force into the ground, which obviously we know that's you. So we're going to test the difference between the two. You've already hit the W1 there, you've got an idea of how it interacts. You're going to hit the W2, and I just want you to say which one you feel more confident with.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
It's an emotional relief for you, yeah? Got to get the right grind for you.
Yeah, because I've been standing it up, and I've been basically hitting just out of the toe, just trying to disengage it, you know?
I mean, we see that often for players who have played a wedge that's too low on the leading edge height, too low on the bounce. They are so afraid of the ground, they start working away from the ground. Well, when you raise the leading edge height and you increase the bounce and you work away from the ground, you're going to thin it even more.
Right.
But now you don't have to work away from the ground, so you can start focusing on the golf ball.
I can feel like I'm really going to hammer this down.
Yeah, and just hit the golf ball now. Obviously, that was a little bit on the heavy side, but you get away with it. When you have a wedge, you can get away with the strike. You actually start hitting the ball even cleaner.
Yeah.
Because you're not afraid of it anymore.
Yeah, so I just went through the Avoda fitting with Tom, and this experience I think is world class. It's one of the best around. You get to go through all the variables. You test for lie, you test for the shaft, not only the weight but the profile. You test for the grip size, and so it's very detailed, and it's the player's feedback that's being used, which I think is key in this, because many of us have been to fittings and we felt really great about it, and then we get out to the course and it doesn't really perform as well as we wanted it to. So this is player-driven feedback fitting, and I think it's really for anyone. If you're trying to get better, you really need to go through this process. So thank you, Tom, for taking me through it, and yeah, it was a great experience.
Appreciate it.